walking down to a valley. As we were on the high ground, we needed to make our way down. I got the front guy, what I was like, it's called a Vallon, a metal detector.
How do you spell that?
V-E-L-O-N.
Vallon.
Yeah, it's like a metal detector. He sweeps that as he's walking in front of him. It picks up any metal signal from the ground, and then you investigate it and see if it's a device or it might just be a bit of shrapnel, because there's been no war there for over 100 years, so there's all kinds of metal lying on everywhere. So me and him went to this bit of high ground, and there's some barbed wire in front of us. I thought, oh, I can't get down here. I looked across to the right-hand side, and there's a path leading straight down to the valley. It had motorbike tracks on it, tracks where goats had been walking and people. I thought, oh, it looks pretty safe. So went back with the guy, collected the rest of the men. Said, right, we'll go down this path here. Must have walked about another 200 metres, no, 2 or 3 metres, sorry, and then must have stepped on the device. The improvised explosive device was buried on the ground. What they've been doing recently, the old Taliban, is using graphite. What you find in car batteries is a really low metal content, so the metal detector doesn't always pick it up. So he must have swept over it, and then luckily for him, he stepped over the device. I've been about a metre behind him, and I stepped on it. Next thing I was aware of was I couldn't hear anything. I could see a big massive dust cloud all around me. I looked down to the floor. I couldn't see my legs at that stage. And so I was just thinking, right, the training kicks in then, what you've been taught all the time. I knew my morphine, my first aid kit was in my right-hand pouch. Everyone keeps it in the same place. So I wanted to get that. I looked at this hand, and that finger was hanging off a little bit. So I kept hold of that finger, and this arm was like twisted round. So I thought, I need some help here. So I called for the medic. The guy who had the metal detector is a lad called Jamie Hasty, and he'd been awarded the Queen's Medal for Bravery for saving my life. He crawled back. He had some fragmentation to his back himself, crawled over to me, put 3 tourniquets on me. And when you get like a traumatic injury like that, you don't actually feel any pain. It was just like numbness. And as he put the tourniquet around my arm, it pinched my skin. I told him to calm down. So that's not, I didn't use the words calm down, as you can imagine, but he said, that's hurting my arm. So I felt that pinch the skin, and then I must have passed out. I remember being put on a stretcher, and while this was happening, the rest of the guys were clearing a safe route back to the main road.
They were doing what? They were just
clearing a safe route with the metal detectors, going back to the main road where we'd come from. A Jackal vehicle had been deployed from the camp, which is like an armoured vehicle. That come down, and then they put me on the back of there, took me back to the main camp, Fobnolay there. I remember being on a stretcher, and yeah, okay, I just get a dry mouth. I was on the stretcher in the medical centre, and this guy came over talking to me, and I didn't particularly like the guy anyway, so I kind of told him to go away and get someone else who I do want to talk to give me a bit of comfort. And I was quite concerned at the time. I've been writing a diary every day. I've been there, like a little diary every day about while I'm missing Claire and things like that. Phoning up for a birthday and telling me that there's slugs in the fish tank or something, wasn't there? Don't know how that works. But so I wanted my diary and my camera. They were quite close to me. So I said, go and get my camera and my diary. That's what I could go on about all the time. And then I heard him say that there's a chopper coming in, a helicopter, in 5 minutes, but it didn't have a medical team on it. So the doctor made a decision to wait for another chopper, which took 10 minutes to come, and that had an American medical team on that chopper, and they picked me up, and they were flying me back to Camp Bastion. I remember asking one of the guys for a drink of water, and I was lying down, and he just kind of poured the water into my mouth, just went all over my face, and then I couldn't see then neither, so I wasn't very happy at that stage. And then dropped me off at Camp Bastion, and the next thing I woke up in Cpl Oaks Hospital in Birmingham the next day. That was on the 13th of December 2009.
October.
October, sorry, 13th of October 2009. And then the next day, the 14th, I was in Cpl Oaks in critical care.
Did they medicate you then and then get you out of the country that quickly?
Yeah, they make any kind of like amputations they've got to make straight away there. The legs, even though I couldn't see them, I was told later on that they were still attached, but the bones were just shattered all the way off. I've seen the X-rays, so they obviously made a decision to amputate them. This one's below the knee, and then this one is above the knee, about here somewhere. yeah, they did that at Camp Bastion, and then they fly you back, and the chopper gets turned into like a flying hospital. I think if anyone's seen it, was on telly not so long ago. Yeah, just sedate you, and then just flew me all the way back.
Just before we continue, because is everything okay technically? Wise, you can hear everything okay? Because I want to make sure this is good for everyone, so that everyone can hear. I was just thinking, people sitting over there, can you see? You can't really, can you? Do you mind if I just push your chair back?
No.
Just a little bit, so you can see. Is that all right? I'll charge you. I'll charge you. Is that all right?
Well, I'll
is that better?
now. Yeah.
All right, cool. So everyone can see. That's the whole thing. That's what you're supposed to do as a cruise director. Just keep your mind open to everything around you. So, you've come back to the UK.
Yep. Then
what's the process then of getting better?
I was in critical care, which is inside the hospital. They have all the lights on dim, and no, your immediate family can come and see you, but not anybody else. That's where they carry out any further operations that they need to carry out.
But
you come in there, didn't you, Claire?
Did you get there then? Because if you're not immediate family, because
oh yeah, I'm his second next of kin, so
perfect.
I was there when he woke up and lived there with him in the hospital. So
that must have been very difficult. And I asked you about you were working at the time.
Yeah.
But then you had to kind of you must have spent all your time at the hospital.
Yeah, I did. At first, you know, I got given quite a lot of time off, and they did pay me, and I would try and go back and do a bit, you know, so I could keep my job. But then in June I just had to leave because they needed someone there all the time, and I just couldn't because of all the operations and everything. So.
Now we talked about the operations because obviously you think you finished the operations, but then you had you explained that when it goes off, you get dirt.
Yeah, once the device goes out off on the ground, obviously all the dirt and water or whatever's on the ground at the time just gets blasted up into your wounds, and obviously they try their best to get it all out when they make the operations, but they can't get every single bit of it out. So sometimes further down the line, as you're moving around more and your blood's probably going pumping around your body more, then the infection might start to happen. That's what happened in this leg. I think I was in critical care for 5 days, wasn't I? Yeah. And then I was on the main ward for 5 days, and then I was able to go home for a weekend. So then after that weekend I went back, had a few more operations, and then down to Headley Court in Epsom, where you get your limbs from when you start your rehabilitation. I was really happy how that got there quite quickly. However, when the first day I got there, this leg was quite swollen, wasn't it? I thought Claire kicked me in the shin during the night or something like that, because it was really hurting. And I went down there and they said, oh, you've got an infection in your leg. So we had to go back up to Selly Oaks in Birmingham. They opened it up again and washed it out, left it open for a couple of days. They put like a vacuum, like a piece of sponge inside your wound with a pipe going into it, and then they seal it up, and it kind of pumps up, sucks out any infection, what's left in there. That was over Christmas, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Had that in over Christmas time. Yeah, over Christmas. And then after that we went back down to Headley Court, got fitted for some legs and some new legs, not this particular one, a different kind of one. And then I was up and walking one, just in, I think it was beginning of January, wasn't it? Yeah. I think I took my first steps in like some parallel bars, what they have, you walk up and down them a few times. And then, unfortunately, I got another infection in this leg. So
well, the bone had grown. That started
to grow back. Oh yeah, the bone started growing back. Apparently, I'm not sure how it works, but because it's had quite a bit of trauma, the bone grows to try and protect itself. So it grew a little bit, but it was like pushing through the skin, wasn't it, a bit? So let's go back, get about another 2 inches, took off that, and then start the process again, get fitted for another leg.
But you got quite a bad infection after that as well.
Yeah, a bit of an infection there, didn't there? It took about 3 weeks, didn't it? 3 or 4 weeks to sort that out. It's just a matter of going back and forward and stopping and starting. That's what gets quite annoying. You think, oh, I'm doing quite well here, and then you get kicked in the teeth and you start again. And that's been the most annoying part of it. It's only been since about November, wasn't it? Was it not November? And when was the medals parade?
Medals parade was in July.
July, sorry.
Yeah.
My memory's terrible.
Secretary got it right.
Yeah. In July, it all just settled down, and I got these legs what I've got now, and went to get me campaign medal from the Duke of Wellington, and I hadn't told Claire or any of my family that I could actually walk at that stage. So that's the first time you see me walking. I walked out to get my medal, stood on parade for about half an hour with the lads, and then walked across the parade square about 100 metres, and then after the medals parade, then I walked from from the place were into the naffy, straight into the bar. Into the drinks.